today on the, let me tell you, I am so excited about today's conversation.
Yes, I really am as well. And there's something about the studio as well. It's very warm. It's very full. I don't think we've ever had the studio full like it is today. And full like this for the kind of conversation that we're about to have.
All day, every day. All day, every day. And if you must know, on Saturday, okay, the world celebrated the International Day of the Girl. Just being a girl is just so fun.
It's fantastic.
But you know us, we don't want to let the day just pass like that, okay? We continue with the conversation today. And of course, just talk about the milestones because, again, 30 years plus since the Beijing Declaration. So how are we doing, first of all, as a country? Have we noticed any difference? Are there gaps? Are there things that maybe we need to strengthen on? But at the same time, where are our boys? Where are the men? And how do we involve them in the conversation?
Yes, how's that
really good conversation.
Like?
Yes,
because I think for the longest time, especially when this conversation was beginning, it felt like it's a tug of war.
Yes,
it's us versus them, and it really isn't that. It's at all. And today, just to prove that, Mtaona Studio in Akad, it's not just girls. No.
Even if they say who ran the world,
girls.
We're not allowed to say that today, because we celebrated our day on Saturday. So it's okay, we can say that today. But yes, and also the intergenerational aspect of it, which is just so awesome.
It's so beautiful. There's a line that people probably use carelessly. Probably today you'll get a clear picture of what it looks like. I come from a long line of strong women.
We have them on set today, so be sure to stick around until the end of the show to really understand what are we talking about and how can we all be part of that conversation, okay? But before we meet our guest this morning, we have a question for you.
Yes, we do.
Swali nini.
Swali jameni. Who
is that woman or girl who has inspired you and why? Who is that woman or girl who has inspired you and why? Engage with us as per usual at NTV Kenya across all board, or give us a call. We're live. If you want to celebrate that woman or girl, feel free to do so. We're live, so that means you can call in anytime or use our WhatsApp number 0112 500 400 and tell us who is that woman who has inspired you and why.
And why. We'll definitely get around to answering that at the end of the show.
Yes.
So stay tuned. Tutawaambia wetu ni nani huko kabla mwisho.
Kabla tumalize kipindi. But as for the norm.
Yes. Are you gonna? You did it successfully, Winnie.
Who do we have? Who do we have
Immediately
today?
on Winnie's left, we have Honorable Rebecca Mushigi, who's a private sector and public service gender champion, Beijing cohort. She's a grandmother. She's here bringing love and wisdom.
Into the conversation. You look, I love these colors. There's just something today about the colors and whatnot, but you look amazing. Let me tell you, if we start talking about your titles and the things that you have done, we'll be here the entire day.
And she continues to do.
So it's so good to see you. Good to have you. Karim Busana on the show. And then next to her,
Jameni, is the daughter. Tukisema long line, this is exactly what we mean. We have Agnes Wambui Mushigi-Muya, who's a lawyer, board chair, and gender and social justice champion, and a mother. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
There was monochrome.
You look amazing. Came in color, right? Came in color to light up the studio. Halafu nyuma yake, so that we finish the list of strong women.
Strong women. The line we're talking about. Right, Nyuma. Agnes, we have a Tandy Muir. Tandy can just, there you go. She is the granddaughter to Honorable Rebecca, and she's also head girl at Pepone School. And you're here because unapenda haya maneno ya ku champion for girls and gender zote pamoja, which is amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today.
All right.
And then hapo next in her beautiful, I don't know if it's purple or fuchsia, we have Sylvia Minor. Fuchsia. We have Sylvia Minor, who's a gender statistics communication specialist, UN Women East and Southern Africa. Welcome to the show.
Lovely to be here. It's been a long time coming.
Right?
Yes. Here you are. International Women's Day.
When we last met. That was amazing.
That was amazing. And you're not here alone because at wewe umesema I will come with my line.
My line. My lineage. Also known as bodyguard. Also known as bodyguard.
What way? Say hi.
Yes.
Hi. Yes. Oh my gosh, they're here with us as well this morning. And last but not least, the gentleman on the panel today is Felix Andrea Gadenji, who's a boys and men advocate, a gender champion as well. Welcome to the show.
Nice to be here.
Yes,
I know.
Strategize. Is it a strategy?
Partners, I want to sit next to Law here.
Hey, partners. Oh my
goodness. And of course, we have an amazing audience, a mix of young men and young women who are here to have this conversation today. Lovely to have you, Karibuni.
Yeah, Karibuni sana. So, Honorable, can we just start with you? Because 30 plus, and just the day in itself, and just the warmth and the, that it brings about. Can we just start? Yes. Can we just start with you? First of all, understanding the significance of the day, but also from your experience, because you are in the Beijing cohort, right?
Yes.
So looking back, how was it?
Thank you very much for inviting me here to talk about the girl child. I was there in Copenhagen. I was in Mexico.
Yeah.
I was in Nairobi conference, women conference, and I was in Beijing. And all what I was following to advocate is the girl child education and opportunities.
Okay.
And empowering her to be able to talk, even in front of the people, and tell them, here I am.
Yes.
I need to be seen. I need to be given opportunities so that I can act. When we went to Beijing, there are so many issues which we had, but all of them were zeroing to empowering the girl child and the woman.
Yeah. I'm just curious, how was it back then? Because even now, every time we talk about anything women empowerment or girl child, the emphasis is always, sister, you always just focus on the girl child. There's always...
What was it looking like?
What was it looking like?
When I was growing up, fortunately, I was brought up by a mother who was a teacher, a primary school teacher.
Okay.
During independence, which was very hard for her to be where she was. But she made sure that she could teach me how to do things as a woman. Although she was also bent in overloading me with a lot of things. Overloading, I'm the one who will cook, I'm the one who will draw the water, I'm the one who will wash the boys' clothes.
Yes.
And one day I said, Mommy, when will this end?
Yes.
Then she said,
you had to protest
then she said, if you agree to go to school. I said, if I agree, if you pay school fees for me, definitely, if this is what is going to remove this burden from my shoulders, I'll go for education.
Okay.
So I went to school when I was very young, and I continued, and that's why I am there. And then after that, I got married to a man, Honorable George Mushigi, the former MP for Kandara.
Yes.
And he empowered me. He had respect for women. And because the women of Kandara were voting him overwhelmingly, and because of that, he empowered me, he encouraged me, he gave me opportunities to do business, local and international. That's why I became the vice chair, the national vice chair of the Fresh Produce Exporters Association. After we left Beijing, during the Beijing, I was already empowering the women in Kandara. During the International Women's Day in Nairobi 1985, I saw the opportunity of empowering the women. So I decided to start them with the growing of French beans. And I named it Outgrower Project. We went to France with my husband, and we came with a full container of seeds, of French bean seeds. And after that, we gave the women, I was able to persuade the men to give the women half an acre of their farm, or a quarter an acre for those who had small. And they agreed. And I told them, they will get you the load from your shoulders of feeding the children and helping you even educate the children. So they said they saw it was beneficial. So they gave them. And I showed them, with the help of my husband, in the agricultural sector, because he was Assistant Minister Agriculture. He helped me get the people who are supposed to help the community to grow the French beans. They grew the French beans. I contacted the exporters. Exporters were flocking in Kandara. But one thing which I'm so proud of is that I told the men, please allow the woman to know the back.
I mean, yes. Right?
So I took them to the bank. Every morning, there was a queue in every bank. Trying to introduce them so that they can be earning something for themselves. And they can save. They are good savers. Women are good savers, even today. So they were given the opportunity to go to the bank and draw money. That one I felt a big empowerment.
So that you don't have to keep asking for
yes. And when we went to Beijing, that was the showcase. I was on Beijing screen every day, showing the women how to grow the French beans, them going to the banks, and that
earning something for themselves. I like that.
So beautiful. I can't help.
You want to cry?
I can't stop. It's so beautiful,
it's really beautiful
that you've drawn that picture, and the fact that you were smack in the middle of all of it.
Yes.
Like when we celebrate the milestones now that my mom can run an M-Pesa shop accounts,
and have
credits, and
you
know it's because
really
of
beautiful.
things like those that happened, and we celebrate you today.
Absolutely. And also something else that we learn is that power of collaboration, not just saying it's us women, kujeni pamoja tufanye vitu peke yetu. No, it's also involving the men and say, hey, you can help in this level, because when you help this way, they can also help in this other way. I really like that. I'm curious to hear
from Agnes.
Yes.
I mean, it's a legacy. Growing up, this
and
is your man. And you know, she is a leader, and you're a leader in your own right. But then how has her journey probably shaped your view when it comes to gender equality?
Wow, what a great question. First of all, thank you for having us.
Yes, welcome.
We are excited to be here. We have very recently, as the Gen Z movement has happened, become very intentional about the intergenerational conversation between my mother, myself, and my children. And we are so happy to be here, to have a bigger audience, to have this conversation. And if I was to speak about my mom's influence in my life, we would have to have a number
5
of
hours.
shows.
We'll be here for a long time.
We would do a series that would earn us great accolades. But for the purpose of today, I have one of my earliest recollection at about maybe 8 years old, when my mom and dad asked me to step on a stage and address almost 5,000, 6,000 people. And I remember having a moment of thinking, what do I say? And my mom said, say what you want. But because of having spent so much time with them, I kind of knew what the conversation was about. And I remember at that earliest recollection that it was about empowerment. And we were speaking to people in Kandara. It was during campaign, and my dad said, step up, speak for children, say something. And I remember at that time giving a conversation of saying my dad would be able to change the situation here. But sometimes those memories bring me to who I am today. It was shaped very early. My mom, who is here with us, and my dad, who has since left us almost 10 years now, gave me the space, the place to step up and be recognized, one, but also understand the awesome responsibility that was ahead for somebody like me, who had so much. You know, I'm always saying, to whom much is given, much is expected. So my mom has influenced me in many ways, but I think the greatest accolade to her is that she has lived her life in the way she wished I would live mine. And so I've been able to watch her, I've been able to admire her, but there's something I say a lot. All my life, my mom has asked me to pull a chair to the table. She takes me places, but I'm never behind, I'm never outside. She's always like, come here. And that started from a very young age, whether I was just sitting next to her or whether people made space for me. And so my courage, my ability to step into these spaces and to recognize that I have a duty as well to bring others, as I have done.
As you have done. I'm curious, because two powerful women, two strong women, and you're blessed to actually be in their space, in the family, in the lineage. I'm just curious to what you have learned, because you're not just I'm in school, you know, I'm just enjoying being a teenager and moving forward. No, but you're also taking up leadership roles, right? What is it that you've learned from this too that you'd like to share with us this morning?
I just want to start off by saying thank you for having me. It's just an honor to be here. What I've learned is I've learned too many things from them. They're two very inspiring and impactful women. But one thing I would say I would take with me for the rest of my life is giving back. You know, they're the two women in my life who give to charities, help individuals. You know, we can see a woman and a baby walking on the road, and my mom just opens the door and we take them to wherever they need to go.
Yeah.
So it's simple things like that that I think have stuck with me my whole life, and will continue to do so.
Yeah.
So,
Your sister's somewhere. Where's she?
Yeah.
Where is she?
She's like the brother.
Not me. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Yeah, but we'll also hear from you guys as well in terms of what you've learned. We have like 2 minutes to go on a break. But Sylvia, we've come a long way, and not just as a country, but also from the global stage. But looking at data, first of all, can we just unpack the data a little bit? Where are we? What are some of the things that maybe we need to focus on? But as they always say, data never lies.
Yes.
Yeah.
The numbers. Thanks again. Like everyone else, I'd like to reiterate just my pleasure and joy in being here and in this capacity. So as you know, the UN Women is the UN agency, the United Nations Agency for Women's Empowerment. Yeah, for Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment. That's the full name. So when you see UN Women, we're not just advocating for women, but it's really gender equality and women's empowerment as well. And in gender data, we are very big on making sure that the numbers tell us which direction we need to move.
Yes.
Right? We don't just make uninformed decisions. Really, our thinking is what are the numbers saying? Where is the pain point? And how can we fix that pain point?
Yeah.
And the main purpose of gender data, even from where I sit, is really we need to understand inequality and sustainable development. So if we're saying we all want to develop, I think the entire world is on that platform where everyone wants to get better. Every country wants to be better than they were last year. We need to be able to substantively measure where are we now, right? Where were we before? And where we are now, is it better than where we were before? Currently, where we are, is anyone being left behind? Right? Because, you know, our mantra as the UN in entirety, not just UN Women, is leave no one behind, right? And that's a huge philosophy that we're running. So how will we know who is being left behind, if at all there's anyone, unless we have data? And how will we know how far behind they are, right? So just to answer your question, looking back 30 years, girls were not doing well in terms of education, as Honorable Mushigi has said. There were issues of GBV, there were a lot of issues of child marriage, there were issues of absence in public leadership, right? But now, looking forward, looking now, 30 years later, the number of women in parliament, for example, globally, has more than doubled. And we have our very own sister here, Rwanda, who's the top in the world in terms of women representation in parliament, with 61% of parliament. Actually 61.3, but let's not get into that.
The point.
I know, the point.
The business of numbers. It's fine.
Yes, so I mean, they're really like our poster child for what women's empowerment and leadership looks like. And you can see good governance, what it's doing in Rwanda. Like they're moving at a very accelerated rate, right? And the truth is, in almost all countries, if not all countries in the world, women are slightly more in terms of the demographics. So when President Obama visited Kenya, our cousin, as we call him, our cousin, our cousin, when he visited in 2015 for the Global Economic Summit, I was very happy to hear him talk about gender. I wasn't even in the gender space then, but it really resonated with me what he said. He said we cannot expect to develop sustainably if we are running the race with half of the racers, one arm tied behind their backs. Yes, and that is women.
Can we pay the bills and then come back and pay
Indeed,
from there?
pay the bills. Pay the bills. Tied behind their back. You can't expect to develop.
Then when we come back, we'll pick up from there, and also have, you know, only male panelists here this morning join us as well in the conversation. But remember the question that we're asking you, and that is, who is that one woman or a girl who has inspired you and why?
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the show. Are you okay?
I am fine. Did you just see what happened?
Yep.
I went into statue mode immediately.
Okay, listen. The conversation today continues from, you know, what the world was celebrating on Saturday, and that is the International Day of the Girl. And today we're saying Beijing 30 plus, a family affair, because it's an intergenerational conversation today. And we just want to understand what is it that we can learn from one another, but also pass on, but at the same time, you know, put more emphasis on. And it just like the fact that being a girl is just so cool and so nice and so awesome, okay? And the question that we're asking you this morning is very simple, and that is, who is that woman or girl who has inspired you and why? A lot of you on Facebook mnasema mom, you know? Mwingine amesema myself. Which is
It's okay. Just,
right? That's okay.
I want to
That's
thank
me for the hard work and all those things. Yeah, but keep sending in your views. We'll be looking at them in just a second. But Sylvia, tulikuwa tumeacha kwa mkono wapi?
Hapa.
Mkono ilikuwa hapa.
Do that kind of
Yeah, so if you're doing like a three-legged race, you can imagine, which really is what development is, because men, women, we all need to develop together, right? Because no one sex makes up the population. So if one party is running with one hand tied behind their back, you're sabotaging your own race. Yeah, so I agree with you what you're saying, that this kuvurutana, this push and pull of girls versus boys, men versus women, it's really not necessary if we want to develop holistically. And we can see what happens when we partner together. Like now, where primary school enrollment was an issue, now we can say it's almost completely at parity. In East and Southern Africa. Let me come back to East and Southern Africa, apart from globally. In some countries, even again like Rwanda, you find actually girls are even more enrolled in school than boys are. But then you find a change when it comes to secondary school, where you find the numbers for girls start dipping. And I think we can understand why, because girls now mature and go into their menses. In countries where child marriage is high, like Mozambique, where it's more than 50%, it's 53% of women who are now between the age of 20 and 24 were married before they were 18. Yeah, this is data from 2-3 years ago. In Kenya, it's 22%, surprisingly. That surprised me. Yeah, because I thought we're not in that kind of dispensation, right? So 22 for us is really quite high, given what we think of our culture. But so anyway, so for secondary school, you find the numbers have dipped, right? But you find for other things such as teen pregnancy, it's always in flux. There are things that cause a soar in that, like we found the global pandemic, the COVID pandemic brought those numbers through the roof. GBV is another issue. At UN Women for the Kenya office, I'm with the East and Southern Africa office. That's why you hear me talking about the different countries in the region. But it's also good to always compare with our neighbors to benchmark and see where are we? Are we doing better than we thought? Or are we really doing very badly, whereas we thought we are stars? So you find in Kenya, for example, we have what we call the triple threat mandate for girls specifically. And that is teen pregnancy, HIV, and also GBV. Gender-based violence is still a very big issue. We've seen the pushback in the past few decades, few years actually. In fact, in 2024, the data we have is that 25% of governments globally reported a pushback and are rolling back on gains, right? So we're also trying to understand why. Of course, the pandemic played a big role. There are many conflicts going on. Like now we have DRC in our region, we have Ethiopia, we have South Sudan, of course. We had Sudan the other day as well. So all this impact girls and women differently from the way they do men and boys, and usually girls and women are more vulnerable in those situations. So you find, like, for example, in conflict situations, the risk of a girl getting married is, I think, double. Right, as opposed to in other contexts. So even like for GBV, you find the numbers have gone so high. In 2023, the data we had globally is that every 11 minutes, a woman is killed. Either by her intimate partner, this is a boyfriend, fiancé, husband, or by a family member in this kind of honor killings. A close family member. That was every 11 minutes. In 2024, it got worse. It's now every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, a woman somewhere in the world is killed. So when we talk about, like, we're over-empowering girls, how are we over-empowering them? And they're the ones who are dying. Okay, it's true, men are also victims of GBV. We don't deny this, because G is for gender and men are agenda, right? But if you look at even things like technology-facilitated GBV, this online trolling, bullying, and all these things, what do you call it, like revenge porn and things like that. Some data that we have shows that actually it's only, I think, is it 12% of men endure that, whereas it's more than 55% of girls
that's a big margin.
Who endure that. And also when you identify, when you do data, you also see, okay, this is the number for GBV, how many women and men are being affected. Then you also look at who is doing this. Is it a neighbor? Is it a cousin? Is it a stranger on the street at the bus stop? And you find for most of them, it's people who are known. It's people in their homes. So to some extent, women are least safe at home. Women and girls.
Where you would expect them to actually be safe.
When you see or hear the numbers.
It's very depressing.
It's very depressing.
But there's something that you said during the International Women's Day. That stuck with me. Do you remember?
I remember we repeated it on after the segment was done.
will remember.
Yes.
Said we'll say this. Yeah, there's something that was very powerful you said, which stuck with me for a while. About numbers, yes.
Okay.
But at the same time, Felix, just listening to all this and the fact that we're saying, listen, we're not saying it's us versus them. It's how can we stand together to uplift one another, boy, girl, man, woman. The space that men can take and the things that you have seen over time and the conversations that have been had, in the spaces that you've been, what exactly are people saying?
First, to start the conversation, picking up from what they've said, when men respect women, when fathers choose to support their daughters' dreams, when the brothers and sisters choose to stand up against violence, the girl will thrive.
Yes. Gosh, tuandike kwa t-shirt.
Yeah.
Please.
We can close the show.
It's clocking.
Right? Oh, we're clocking it. Yes, we're clocking it. Clock.
Look at Sylvia and the boys.
I'm like, what are you seeing? I think my boys are not cool.
No, it's not the girls that are doing this.
Yeah.
So, okay, sorry, yes.
So it really has to, the backdrops with us, the men. Because when I hear her talking about the husband, you can clearly tell that it's the impact started with the husband and it trickled down
to the family.
The family.
Yes.
And you can see, I think it's the third generation.
Yes.
So when men choose to have respect and love and understand and see, I keep saying that this is when you're married to a wife, that is not your sister, it is someone else who has come to your family.
Yes.
But how do you treat that person? Do you treat them like your sister? It's unfortunate, and I think we'll do a moment of silence for the lives that I come from Kiambu County, and Kiambu County, we are in a mess, especially in the health sector. And it's sad that at this time and age, you're still experiencing maternal death. And the numbers are worrying. And when someone comes and wants to dispute the numbers that we are seeing, the Kenya Medical and Practitioner Board came and gave us the numbers, and then someone comes and wants to, can't dispute. It's not even right to start politicizing death, especially infant death. Yet you are the one who's supposed to provide, healthcare services for that. So it's still sad that we are experiencing that. As men, we choose to be partners and allies. It's not about competition anymore. It's not about funding. It's not about. I keep talking about funding every other time that we do this. We are into these spaces. It's not about funding anymore. It's about humanity. It's about treating this girl as your sister, as your wife, as your auntie, as your relative. It's about protection. It's about being a man. It's not about just thumping anymore. It's not about comparing the head and the neck anymore.
Yes.
It's about being in their shoe and asking yourself, if I was her, what would I say about this situation?
I really like that. And you know what I like most that you said is if men choose. If men choose to respect women, if dads choose to provide and be there for the family, a girl will thrive, which is really nice, right?
If they choose to support their dreams like the husband did, that led her to Beijing at 30, to go all the way to Beijing, because as the husband, he believed in the dream that she had as a wife for the generation of women of empowerment, And it's funny that I'm hearing she's talking about, women going to the bank. At that time, it's that, generation.
Yes.
And we are used to chamas. I was totally surprised, she was taking them to the bank and they had, that capacity of withdrawing their own money.
Yes.
Sisi tumezoea shosho kuficha kwa na before itoke hapo utakuwa umemconvince bana before itoe. So if we choose, magic happens.
How about we all choose? I like that.
Right?
We
all choose. There's something he said that has really stuck out for me. And I like to tell my story, my life in stories. But once upon a time, my father was moving furniture, and it was a very big seat. And we were all standing there. We are 5 boys, 3 girls, and he called the girls to move the seat. And we were like, no, tell the boys to move it. Then he said, no, you're moving it.
Okay.
So we struggled with it, we carried it and took it to where it was. And so when we came back, we were like, what are they doing? Then he says, no. You will probably have to pick up more weight than they'll have to in their life. Ooh. Of course, at that time, you're upset. You're a teenager.
It's like, why?
It's like, these stories, you know, stories. But again, a moment that, you know, I have not told you much. I've not scared you about the future.
Yes.
But someday you may understand why I'm strengthening you and in front of your brothers.
Wow.
So it was both a message for us and a message for them. So as he says, fathers, and you know, I'm sure there are many who are watching us, have such a unique place in how their girls turn out.
Yeah. Can we hear from the audience as well?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
fine. Yes, the audience. But also the children of the panelists. You have a mic, right?
Yeah.
And Mommy's here, and Mama Boy is okay. And I know there's a way, again, from what you said, right? Like growing up, there's that thing of lazima ujue kupika, lazima ujue kuosha, lazima ujue, because you're a girl, we're preparing you, you know, for marriage. And then there's a way that boys have been raised. So I'm just curious, hata siangalima. Yes, the way mommy is raising you, because yes, from home you also go to school, you interact with, like, say, girls and whatnot. So how is mom raising you to be a good man? Okay, who will choose to respect
other girls? And you can start with your name.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Jonathan today. And my mom raises me very well.
Okay.
She really talks to me about GBV and tells me what she does in her work and the percentages of women that are empowered and not empowered. And I really think it's shocking and depressing.
Yeah.
Even here in Kenya, even if it's less than a quarter, it should be very little.
We shouldn't be where
We've got
we
work
are.
to do. There's more to be done.
There's more to be done. So then what are you doing in your space, you know, as a young boy growing up into a young man, right? What are you doing in the space, understanding what mom has told you in terms of the figures and the numbers and what they're looking at and what is happening? What would you say you're doing in your own little space to really contribute to eradicating completely or reducing the numbers?
Maybe ask more questions and participating more when I see her doing something. Like I ask her, oh mom, what are you doing? I really am curious in her work and love seeing that she's at work and helps women.
Wow.
Yeah. I like that.
It's like, what?
I know. Ask questions. I'm being taught to ask questions. Yeah. Jonathan, thank you so much for that. All right, do you want to pass it back to your brother? Sorry, Sylvia. Are you okay? Are you
I'm very fine. I know they'll do well. Yes.
She's done the work.
Again, same question, you know, as Jonathan, in terms of how mom is raising you to, first of all, just understand what is going on. Because as a parent, there's that thing where you try to shield your children from everything else that is going on. But yes, from what you've learned from mom and her work.
Okay, my name is David Tandewe. So what I've learned from my mom is to basically be kind to people in general, not just like people of my gender, boys, but to girls as well.
Yeah.
Like for example, there's a time she asked me and my brother, if we saw a girl with a stain on her pants, what would we do to help her? And we learned that we should offer her a sweater to cover herself instead of laughing or mocking her for what really isn't her fault.
Yeah. That's fine. Sylvia.
That is so powerful. Right? That is so powerful because I remember growing up, it was a hard conversation to have with my younger brother. And at some point he got angry at me. He was just like, why are you always in pain and you don't want to go to hospital? Like you need to go to hospital. You can't be sitting here and asking me to make a hot water bottle for you all the time. Now when you enter hospital. And it wasn't my parents or anything. I had to say, sasa kuna kitu inaitangwa hivi. Ina menstruation. Yangu inakujanga na uchungu.
for them to understand. No, for me, it was more of like, we don't talk about those things, you know, with brothers. There was this advert, oh gosh, I remember there was one time I kept singing about it, and they were like, but why are you singing those things here? See, those things are for girls. You know? Yeah, yes, you know? So it's really beautiful to hear what you're saying, that, hey, instead of mocking and laughing, what can I do to help? And it might seem minute at that point, but probably you would have saved a girl's life, because remember the girl who unfortunately, you know, right?
Actually,
because
I
of
spoke
the
with them
stigma.
about that.
Yeah. So that's really nice. That's really nice. Thank you so much for sharing. Hey, I see you.
Siblings on the other end.
Yes. Do you have a mic? Oh, yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there you go. And I don't know if you have a brother as well. So 2 boys, 2 girls. And I don't know what the setup looks like. These are very strong women, and the thing that very strong. And even your sister is President Uko Shule and lead squad. What do you feel the space has been for you as a young man, and your brother as well, in that space? And what have you learned that probably is shaping how you relate to other girls and other men in society?
Start with your name, please.
Yes.
First of all, thank you for putting me under pressure.
Pressure is good.
We're used to pressure in the family, you know, being around.
Speak closer to the mic.
Being around strong women a lot of the time, it's also encouraging to me to just. They give me the space. My parents give me the space to be comfortable in my own skin. And my dad always tells me, if I do something right or if I take care of someone, he says, good man. That's his favorite quote. So I take that with me most places I go, to just be a good man, which is taking care of my sisters. Although they might say I could bully them, but it's just I love them. I love them, and just being kind and a good man in everything I do.
Being kind. Kindness is one of the things that we need to... Oh, bless you.
The camera just caught me well at it. Thank you so much.
But that's really beautiful. And also, from where we've seen, because there's a lot of things that is happening now. We saw that with the Gen Z movement, where we saw a lot of girls coming out and being on the front line and saying, sisi ndio hawa hapa, munataka kutuvuta, tuvute, you know, and go, you know. So because there's a lot of conversation still around, uyu akikuwa strong woman or strong girl, then where is my space as a man, as you know, as a young man? So I wonder what that is for you, and say like in your age group, and the conversations that are happening, especially when it comes to girls and empowerment.
I think if a man is not okay with a strong woman, then that shows insecurities within himself. So
the parents in here today.
So I feel like we should.
Please, sorry we cut you short, but you can continue.
So it shows that, like, even if there's a woman that's strong, you could work together. It's as we were talking about today, it's being together in unity. So if you see a strong woman, also you can encourage her to be stronger, and she can encourage you to be stronger and work as a team.
And that is exactly what your granddad did to Shosho.
Wow.
Beautiful.
And also great-granddad, because Honorable Mushiki's dad also
Yes.
So it's 4 generations now.
Let me tell you, I love this. Okay, hey, Nanya Kola Mike. She was like, are you going to ask me questions? Yes. All right, and please start with your name. Same question.
Same question on, being in this space and feeling the power that comes with, strong, opinionated leaders in your family. Do you feel the pressure to walk in the same line, or does it come, normally, automatically for you to just take the space of leadership in whatever space you find yourself in?
Hi, my name is Sifi Muya.
Hi.
I think it's like... Okay. I think it's not, there's like a lot of pressure to like...
to the mic? Yes.
I think there's a lot of pressure to walk in their footsteps, but I feel like as a strong young lady who has come from a strong line of women, I think it's in our blood.
Yes. Yes, please. Yes.
And like to be able to like influence women and like be in that space to be able to do that. Because I'm in like school council at school.
Look at that.
Yeah. And like I feel like I have like the certain responsibility to empower younger women and make them feel comfortable in who they are if they already don't. So yeah.
I mean, it's in our blood. Like, it's blessed. Like, what else do you want? The whole, what is it, this debate about leaders being, nurtured. And all those things. Well, I see. But Tandy, let's hear from you as well. In terms of the lessons that you've learned, from them and what you're doing. And sometimes there could be that resistance. And especially when a girl is like, vocal, knows what she wants to put herself in that leadership position. There's always this resistance. So maybe talk us through that and how you're able to handle it, knowing that you come from a lineage of strong, powerful women who are taking up those leadership positions, and just how you handle say negativity, things that people will be like, I don't know, najifanya tu. We only have a minute to go on a break, so yeah.
Good question. I feel like negativity can come externally, of course, but I think for me, sometimes I also struggle with self-doubt myself, and that negativity kind of coming from myself. And I think the people I have around me, the women I have around me, it just empowers me in a way that I don't even think I can explain. If they can do it, I can do it. And as my sister said, it's in my blood. It's what I'm made of. So as much as you can doubt yourself or other people can doubt you, if you keep going, if you constantly believe you're capable, then you can do anything. Anything's possible.
Grandma, what do you feel? Like you talk like that,
I am so happy that I have brought up such a legacy. And I would like to urge the young mothers to inspire their children by calling them what they would like to be. I call Tandy Princess.
Why?
And I call Sifi Mheshimiwa. Because that's what I want them to be. And when she was campaigning among the men and the women, in her school, I told her, I'll pray for you, but you must come out and tell them who you are and what you will do for them, and try to tell them you are the best. And when she won the seat, I was so happy. It was like me. She told me, it's like you. I said, yes, because this is the legacy. My mother was the first councillor in Fort Hall, Muranga. The first councillor.
Wow. What?
And yes.
Look at that. And then after the break, I want to hear that story. I want to hear that story. We'll take a break, we pay our bills, and then we come back and pick up the story from there. And also remember that theme for this year, that is the girl I am, the change I need. I also want to hear from the girls here in the room as well. But we'll also pick your feedback on the question of the day after the... we should start singing that song.
Does it have like lyrics? Well, what would be the lyrics?
We can just sing
we can just come up with. We have tasked ourselves.
Absolutely, we can.
This good year of the Lord, we will come back with lyrics.
The year is almost coming to an end.
It is not over until it is over.
Listen, if you're just joining us, the conversation today is, again, we're continuing a conversation which, started over the weekend as far as the International Day of the Girl is concerned. And today we're looking at Beijing 30+, and it's a family affair, all right? And the question that we're asking you this morning is very simple. Who is that woman or girl who has inspired you and why? Let's hear from WhatsApp people, what they are saying, and then we'll come back and look at Facebook, what people are saying. This one says, the person who inspired me the most is my friend Phoebe, and she's only 21 years old, and she bought a plot of land. Where she is really a good saver, and she is the one who keeps me going. This is, continues to say, my top inspirer. Okay, now jatuambia jina. That's fantastic.
That's fantastic. 21.
Let me tell you.
Good morning. Happy International Day of Girl. To all the ladies out there, you are beautiful and precious. Keep pushing. We can do this.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
My name is Jacqueline Koech from Elgeyo Marakwet County, a great champion to women and girls' rights. The attached photo shows how engaging men on matters SRHR and advocating for the same has brought about a lot of changes in our once patriarchal and cultured society. This has in turn helped in GBV prevention and can you scroll down? Do you have some more to that? More to yes. GBV prevention and intergenerational conversations have improved and are accommodative. I celebrate myself as a champion and looking forward to a more empowered and changed society where girls are accommodated and take leadership positions.
Can we see the photo? Sorry. Can we just see the picture? Because it says the above picture is proof. Let's see what the photo is. Okay, we can see it. We can't see. We can't see.
There.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
okay.
That's what's up.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Wow,
Thank
that's
you.
Fantastic. Yes,
Good
and we
job,
celebrate
Jacqueline.
you. Yes, very nice, very nice. Right? Yes. All right.
Good morning, NTV. My mom, Mary Caroline, really inspires me. When my dad passed away some years back, my mom stood with me and my siblings. She provided us with unconditional love and wavering financial support back then in campus, and also acted as a role model. She is our mom and dad.
Fantastic.
Mary
Really
Caroline. Caroline, where?
Caroline.
You are celebrated.
Caroline is celebrated. Okay, let's see what Facebook, audience on Facebook is saying on the question of the day. So this is Samson Otina who says, I have seen my mom struggle, but one thing I have never seen is her giving up. That's the mother. Oh, really like that.
Yes.
Awesome. And then electrician Kangongori Kangonga. Where? Seems mothers are the heroes of everyone. If you take a reflection of the word mom, it gives wow. Okay. Right? Yeah, it gives wow. Okay. Messi Mugo says, my mother, Kemboy Shadrach says, I'm Chariot. She always pushes me to the right direction whenever I am tired and confused. She also encourages me to be strong and face life no matter what. And then Lillian Bilo, who says, my mom, celebrating you posthumously.
Yes.
And then someone found this woman ako there. Where? And then Van Fiena Mo and all hardworking moms who make sure their children do not retire to bed empty stomach. May God bless your hustle. Chali amesema Pauline Jeru, and then Kosgei Arab Koech anasema my mom, very hardworking. Then who else? Elijah. Amen. It says my late mom, Stella, and my spouse Lucy have inspired me so much. Kanga says my mother Maggie, Chariot Sanking, and I saw my mom and sisters. And then Sasha says I celebrate myself being not easy. I celebrate myself. I like that. Oh, Alphonse and Asema, my grandmother, although she's late. Grandmothers.
Yes.
Okay. And then another one says Nelly Roticha Asema, and disciplined lady to young and older people, love her so much. And then everybody says my mother, let me tell you, hey, Bansen Bana Bansen. And I said, I am my own inspiration.
Okay.
Still okay.
Yes.
That's still okay.
Yes,
That's still okay.
Just tell us why.
By the way, the why part.
The why part.
Yeah, we want to hear the why part.
Yes.
Okay, but before we went on a break, there was the question on the girls in the room, right? So the theme for this year is the gala, the change I lead, girls on the front lines of crisis. Okay, so being a girl, first of all, like what is it like for you when you say I am a girl? What does that mean for you, and what is it that you want to see change, in the years to come? But I know you guys have questions as well. Yeah. Hey, we'll fit that into the.
We will try. We will do our best. But you can answer Winnie's as you ask your question as well. Start with your name.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is psychologist Juliet.
Oh, hi.
So, in terms of that, ninaweza sema kujiaminia can take care of her.
Okay.
And then listening to decision attending to decision-making conference and being part of it.
Okay.
And then try to do something constructive, like, I can take myself as an example.
Yes.
In Garissa County, I represent the Amrefasa Miss Desip for the girl child championship, whereby in case of the FGM, I always take a report to the chief, and then there's a recent case which made me to be the Miss Amref of the Garissa County.
Wow.
I rescued a girl who was 11 years old, and I got a call from my friend, and she was like, Nas Julie, can you just come to this venue? So akaniambia, like, this night there's a lady called Marian. She wants to be married off na wazazi wake. So it was by force. I went and rescued the lady. Took her to the rescue center for the Garissa. And until now, last week the lady called me, and she was like, unanikumbuka? I never knew who the lady was. Akaniambia, I took the number from the rescue center. You are the one who rescued me now. Without you, I could not be a nurse.
She's a nurse.
Well done.
She's a nurse now.
Oh. Wow. Well done. Look at that. She saved her life. Oh, we celebrate you today. Good job. That's really nice.
Job.
Yeah.
The girls who are leading.
Yeah.
Yes.
You had it. Yeah. Okay. We have someone.
Pass on the microphone.
Yes.
To her.
Okay. Yeah, in front
of you. Yes, there you go.
It's like
Okay. You had a question. Yes.
Okay. I'm Winikuta, and my question. Okay, before I ask the question, I have a concern. We live in a contemporary society where our parents favor one gender. There is that gender disparity stroke gender favoritism. And I have heard you, our guests here, you are a concrete parent. So my question, how can you encourage our parents to support girls' ambitions equally to their sons?
Good question. Really good question.
Would you like any particular panelist to answer your question, or it's fair game for all?
Fair game.
Fair game. Okay. Any other question? Okay.
Swali
bado.
Mpatie mic
Sawa.
swali.
Tulicelebrate Julie. Pole.
So my question goes like, what are some common barriers that prevent women and girls from reaching their full potential, and how can we overcome them as we create more inclusive and supportive environment for women and girls in STEM fields?
Okay.
Good question. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can we answer those?
Yes, we can answer those.
Yeah. Okay.
First.
Who feels they're going first in answering your question?
How do
okay.
you? Yes.
I'm good. I could go. So I think that's such a good question, Nasruli. We've seen the numbers, but how can we go beyond this? How can we overcome these hurdles? One of the big things that is really hindering women from crossing those barriers is poverty. Yeah, I mean, we can argue and say everyone in the world is struggling, all the economies are difficult, even men feel the pinch of poverty. But the truth is the numbers and history have shown us that poverty has been feminized. So we say the face of poverty is an African woman. That's a very heavy statement.
Yes.
Yeah, and you find that actually for every 127 that a man has, a woman only has 100. Yeah, so you can see that it actually affects women much more. Yeah, so there's actually the correct data point is women are 30% more afflicted by poverty than men. So where you find poverty is really bad, you find women are 130% lower. yeah, 30% lower. So if a man is at 100, women is at 130. Yeah, so that's already very concerning, and that's one of the things that Beijing sought to address. So the Beijing Platform for Action addressed women and girls around 12 pillars. So I won't list all of them, but one of them was the girl child, which was, I think, the 12th pillar. We had women and poverty, we had women in technology, which addresses also your STEM question. We had women in education, women in climate, or women in the environment. So all of those give steps that we can take to actually assist women and girls to come up to par, even as men and boys continue on the path. And recently, because of the Beijing Plus 30 commemoration, we had countries across the world, just like we did in the first Beijing in 1995, 189 countries put down commitments and said, in regard to all these 12 areas, we will do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. So even now, 30 years later, we've just done that. And in the region, I think we received 41 commitments, if I'm not mistaken about the number, from about 18 countries in East and Southern Africa, which is about 23 countries. So more than half put down commitments of what they will do. Some of the commitments that we've made, okay, poverty is one of them, education is one of them, access to digital technology is another one, because we're in a digitized space. If you're not online or with access to these tools, you're definitely being left behind. Some of this is climate change as well. How are we ensuring that climate change doesn't continue to affect women and girls as much as it has? Because women are still the ones fetching water. Girls, of course, are the ones spending time at the river instead of doing their homework and keeping up to par with boys. So you find, like, for education, the education pillar, 14 countries in the region, in East and Southern Africa, have put down commitments, right, to address issues of girls returning to school when they get pregnant. Because remember, I told you some of the key issues are teen pregnancy, HIV, and GBV. So to address teen pregnancy, because a girl gets pregnant doesn't mean she drops out of school and that's the end of her dreams. She can go have her baby and come back. And there are countries that actually have gone a step further, like Rwanda again. Rwanda seems to be the poster child for many things. But even Kenya and other countries have such measures in place where they actually even have like a special room put aside. I'm forgetting the Kenya-Rwanda name they use for it, but it's basically a special room they have in schools where a girl can come to school with her baby and a nanny, and as she's in class, she can always pop in and breastfeed, pop in and check on the child. So she's actually able to continue in school and concentrate and not feel like she's abandoned her child. And she's also able to be with her child and make sure that the child is getting the nourishment that they need. So those are some of the things. I think about happening
here. Have we
I don't know about the... Actually, maybe
Felix
can answer that better, because he works much closer with Kenya. For me, I know more of the regional picture, but those are just some of the initiatives.
That's a huge...
It is, but I know in Kenya it's not prohibited to go back to school. Like I remember at some point in Tanzania it was prohibited. If you remember that declaration, when it was actually taboo. It was actually prohibited at the senior government level that once a girl gets pregnant, go and be a mother. Go and be a mother. In fact, the president actually said that. He said, go and, yes, be a mom. The late Honorable Magufuli. But now with under the new regime, that was actually overturned. And we're actually seeing some of these data points showing this number of girls who are out of school. This is the effect it has on their prosperity in future. This is the effect it has on the economy and the country. Because if they can't contribute meaningfully to the country and the economy, who will carry them? That means they've become a burden, so to speak, rather than contributing and carrying others. Right? So it's actually even in countries' best interest. We call it enlightened self-interest. In your own self-interest, help this person, not maybe because you're so benevolent, but because it makes sense for the greater good for all of us to lift this person. Right? So we find that when girls go back to school and continue to achieve their dreams, we find that they're more empowered. This kind of girls with the financial empowerment are less likely to fall into some of these GBV situations, because you find when women are not economically empowered, they're more vulnerable. Because then you don't have agency, you can't speak for yourself. And I think also what Honorable Mushiko was talking about, empowering these women in the constituency, she actually has a very beautiful story related to that and how it brought peace to homes. And men are the ones who came and told her, you have brought peace to our homes. I'll let her say that story herself. But yeah, those are some of the things we can do, even just bridging the digital divide. Like we find, I think 9 out of 10 women and girls in poor countries don't have access to internet, which means they're missing out on a lot of innovation, a lot of knowledge and technology. And you find men and boys have twice as much access. Yes, so the digital divide is big. So we are not finished with poverty, we are not finished with and here is technology also. You see, so we have to keep moving. But I don't want to seem like the prophet of doom. One of the things we are saying in Beijing Plus 30 is that progress is possible. Yeah, that's one of the loud resonating messages we are sending as UN Women. And we've seen this, we have history. History has told us progress is possible. We are not where we were in 85 or 95. We are much further. Yeah, so we want to say we keep going, but we need to be more deliberate. We need to not drop the ball. If we are putting policies in place, we need to continue putting them and implementing them. Yeah, and we also need to continue engaging with men.
With the men, yes, power of collaboration. And just do you want to answer the whole question about parenting girls and boys, because you have 2 boys and you have 2 girls.
Perfect example.
Yes. So before I go into that, there's something Sylvia has said that has triggered a memory. Again, another story.
Yes.
I went to Kianda School, the Kianda School.
Yes.
And,
again, my mother's effort.
Yes, great decisions.
Right.
And in 1993, leading up to Beijing, I got the rare opportunity of contributing to the Agenda for Girls. And mine was to talk about pro-life.
Okay.
Of course, it was a Catholic school that had been imparted on us. And we had to draft a document that was going to be taken by the great Miss Mary Kibera, may she rest in peace, a formidable woman. We were very empowered at Kianda School. Thank God for those wonderful women. And so we had to make the contribution for pro-life.
Yes.
And one of the biggest messages of that document that we did draft, and with very little interference, was the idea that girls must be allowed to come back to school. So I'm thinking 32 years ago, that was something we were agitating for. One, because many of us had gone back to the villages in the holidays and things like that, and seen our age mates, at 16, I saw age mates carrying babies on their backs. You're playing, you're having a wonderful time, and someone's cooking, they're taking care of their children. So in terms of progress, I think we've come a very long way. And very proud to have made that contribution. Now, about
the dreams.
Yes, the dreams. So as you very well mentioned, I have 2 boys, 2 girls. Based on my background, and now we have established 4 generations, not even 3, I grew up around that equality. I have said it often, I have mentioned it. I came to understand that women were treated differently when I left home. I had no idea that our home was unique, right? So it would be now coming out into the world. Like I always tell my children, when you leave home is when you recognize what you had. And so I have brought those tools into my own upbringing of my children. I have tried to create equality as much as possible. From a practical approach, I would like to encourage parents to convene children, to meet children. People think that meetings and strategies and planning and everything should be left to corporate and boardrooms. But families are your greatest company. They're your greatest legacy. Before you talk about money and property, your family. If that's solid, everything else will follow. And so for me, we gather a lot, we speak a lot, we bring issues to the table. I have given equal voices, equal spaces. If my son has an opinion, my daughter's opinion is also welcome. I want to hope that they also will be shocked to go out and find out that their homes where there was a difference. But I think from a practical approach is to say to parents, every child comes with their own unique talent, with their own unique understanding of life, with their own unique experience. I'm always intrigued by this statement that no child has the same parents. No. Like my 4 children do not have the same parents. They're experiencing us in different ways. We, of course, now I'm in the midlife. Maybe my younger daughter knows a different mom. That one she'll have to tell us. But the firstborn knew another mom. I'm glad he's not here. But it's just the idea that our children must know that that there is a unique space for them. And when you deny that by saying boys this, girls this, or maybe deciding you're going somewhere and taking the boy because he'll lead the family, or these other narratives, it's cultural. We don't want to dismiss the fact that we have a culture and we have some things in our culture that worked, right, and maybe have led us into a bit of crisis now that we are not following them, but we also know different. And I think when you know different, you do different. So I hope I've answered the question. I just think parents need to take a practical approach to it to say, what is good for my daughter is also good for my son. And because I need to say this, I was taught by a very formidable, wonderful woman that children are already molded. Our work is to unfold them.
Wow.
Yeah? And so, to parents, unfold your children. They are ready. They were born ready, equal, and with the same abilities.
Yes.
So spend your time unfolding them, not molding them.
Not molding.
If we were to make T-shirts from all
today. Okay. I'm curious about the story of your mom, but do you want to break it like 2 minutes, and I do not want to rush you into it. Can we speak a little? Or you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to just jump in quickly. Related to that of raising your children to know that your gender shouldn't limit you. I have a friend who's actually a lawyer also, coincidentally. All my friends seem to be lawyers. Yes, and she was raised in central Kenya, in Nyeri, and she says that her dad empowered her very greatly. What you said has reminded me. And he would stop them from going to the kitchen to wash dishes, the girls, and tell them, come sit here and read the newspaper. And they couldn't understand. And he was like, washing the dishes is something that you'll do ad infinitum. You'll do it into perpetuity. It will not bring any food onto your table. It won't help you in any way. Come put some current affairs in your head, get some policy thinking into your head, get some perspectives into your mind. Those will take you far. And so the girls and the boys, there was no, you're the girls, you go to cook, and the boys are sitting watching TV. There was none of that. So I found that very inspiring as well.
And also just speaking on the power of collaboration very quickly before we go on a break, how then do we approach it so that it's not a we versus them, and then it's like, someone to let on board after you guys have done all the empowerment, now you just want to bring, and borrowing from her story as well. What do you think the approach might work, would work, has worked, and probably what we need to strengthen?
I've seen the story from the lady at Elgeyo Marakwet, and every time we talk about gender issues, I want to look at it from a region perspective. Because in every region there are a special program or organization that is doing something. And if you look at data in terms of region and the empowerment programs that have been done there, you will tend to see some change. When you go to Garissa and you look at what is happening with childcare, and then you look at the organizations that are in that area, it will tell you something about that area. I like what UN Women is doing, and funny enough, even in our male engagement programs, it is the UN Women who come in to fund programs on male engagement. So when we were in Elgeyo Marakwet and we were working with UNFPA, and they came to when we were talking about suicide and murder and the death of the athletes that were killed by their husbands. So it is about regions. First, understand multicultural counseling about that region. Understand the cultural norms of that region. Understand where men are coming from in that region. When we went to Moranga and the governor wanted us to do a program on male engagement and assist the county, and I heard of a story where guys were reporting that there was abuse in the house, and because the fight was still going on, vitu ilikuwa inaendelea, so watu wamekimbia kuchungulia kwa dirisha, wanaona huyu jamaa anapiga kelele, what is happening? So but one guy said, instead bala kukimbia kurush kuita polisi, first see if we need to rescue watu kwanza, nyinyi mkiendanga polisi, see to rescue. To their shock, they found it is the woman stepping on the man's neck, beating him and screaming.
The woman is screaming.
Yes. Amekanyaga shingo. Amekanyaga shingo.
Lakini
anampiga akiscream. So huyo jamaa alikuwa like, yo ngojeni, what is happening hapa? Hebu kwanza rudini, hata msite chief kwanza. Hata kwanza kwanza hii nyumba kwanza. Jamaa ndo alikuwa anapigwa, but the woman is screaming. So it is important to understand, if you come to Meru, what is the culture? If you go to the Maasai land, and you're told that you cannot speak to the women if a man is not there, the patriarchy system. So it is for us to understand culture first, in terms of region, what happens, what are the cultural norms. The men pastoralists, are they going out? Kuna mkuki na dungwa kwa nyumba before aende, alafu akirudi kipata imedungwa, unadunga kwa mwingine.
Okay. All right, so understand the different cultures, because again we're culture rich, country, diverse culture, so understand. That's a really good point. Okay, to leave the bills, then when we come back, we want to understand now
kuna story
moving forward. Yes, I really want to hear that story.
And also understand if it's unfinished business, then tunafaa kufanya nini? Tumefika wapi?
The next 30 years, where do we see ourselves, right? Yeah. Some of you to come on the other side. Do stay with us. The show is Your World. And welcome back. The last few minutes before we say goodbye, right here on the show, Mindful Monday, and we're continuing with the conversation as far as the International Day of the Girl is concerned. And today, tunasema Beijing 30+. It's a family affair today, intergenerational conversation that we're having. It's just seeing what we can learn from each other and what is it that we can pass forward. And 30 years from now, what does it look like, right?
We've been taken back to what it looks like, and we can see the milestones that we've achieved over the years. But tumemaliza, tumefika kwenye the dream ilikuwa. Are we there yet? And kama hatujafika nini tunafaa kufanya, basi ndio tuweze kufika hapo.
Absolutely. Okay, and the question of the day, and that is, who is that woman or girl who has inspired you, and why? Can we see what people are saying on WhatsApp? WhatsApp number is 0112 500 400. This one says, I am James Gishero. My mom is best. She has been always there for me and my siblings. I love my mommy. Aw, boys and their moms. Okay, it is well. And then we get a Sevanini.
By working together, we can help create a more equitable society where women have the opportunity to thrive. As a psychosocial disability inclusion advocate, and this is just getting into the conversation we're about to get into right now. To me, empowering women with psychosocial disabilities is not just a moral imperative, but a catalyst for a more inclusive and equitable society.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, and then another person says, okay, can we go to the next one?
Thank you, Philip.
Okay. Should payment of the bride price be continued as under traditional weddings? Sometimes one gets the impression that the young girls are glamorizing it without understanding its future implications in their relationships. Okay. Mumeona jina ya nyumbani. I tune in with excitement as I watch my mother, sister, nieces, and nephew take the stage to share their powerful stories of empowerment. Their courage and resilience shine brightly, serving as a beacon of hope in my journey in mental health. Oh, wow. As I work with women survivors in conflict zone, I am continually inspired by the generations before me and motivated to empower those who will follow. Together, we are creating a legacy of strength and support that transcends generations. Thank you for highlighting these incredible stories that uplift and inspire us all. Huyu nani? Pizza Mshigi. Thanks, Pizza. Okay, huyu anatuambia hi. Hi. How are ya?
Hi back.
So, hi back.
Who's Peter?
Yeah, Peter is my last born.
Oh, okay. Says to watch my that's really nice.
Mental health field.
Okay, but also the disability inclusion. Before we talk about the story, I want to really hear the story. Yes.
So I work. I'm the board chair of an organization called CBM Kenya. We focus a lot on disability inclusion. I think as far as girls and the theme of today's concern, it has taken me back to the very foundation of our organization was to eliminate eyesight issues, eyesight problems. Actually, we co-founded the Stanchart Marathon, which is coming up.
Oh, yay!
Yes, if you remember, it was called Seeing is Believing.
Yes.
So we were partners in that movement, and it started out with doing operations for young children who had any eyesight challenges that could be intervened and maybe saved from total blindness. One of the biggest things for us in that was to save especially young girls. Boys were well taken care of, you would imagine, by families, you know, looking at future breadwinners and things like that. But data would show that little girls, young girls, some of them left at home, some of them, the boy will take care of them type of mentality. So it's not that we only focused on the girls, but it was wonderful to see how that life would change. And we moved on from eyesight to realizing there's also a lot of disability in young children with limbs, with accidents, with different things, and giving them equipment so that they are mobile. But the biggest thing to come out of our work was something we call Wezesha Elimu. And Wezesha Elimu means that children who, we are not leaving any children behind. We are not leaving any children with disability behind. And if we can teach them to be integrated into society earlier on. It used to be, if you remember, a lot of the schools that specialize, maybe School of the Deaf, School of the Blind, and you can imagine what age people were getting in a little later, even for those now who don't have any disability, being able to interact with them. And so that's what CBM Kenya came to do, to take a very great advocacy role, but also a supportive role in integrating children with disability into schools. So girls have benefited in a very great way. Wezesha Elimu also meant paying the school fees, supporting these children in partnership with Safaricom. I would like to acknowledge that and to thank them. They partnered with us and were able to put these girls in school. So disability inclusion is an area where women are certainly really suffering. One of the biggest things for me in the work is to know that a lot of them are at home. They are left at home. Maybe intentionally sometimes, but maybe not intentionally. I know of a story where a young girl was locked up for most of her life in a room, but in interviewing the parents and the caretakers, they thought that was what was best for her. Because who is she going to interact with? Who is going to take care of her? How will she navigate the world? She doesn't know. So until people like us come along and say, okay, yes, this is what you're having. We have specialists who can help you with this. We have people who can do mental health advocacy. That's what we do. So for me, it's been extremely inspirational to see what it means to equip. Many people are just looking for a hand up, not a handout. And the disability world is going to teach you that. You meet people who tell you, I just need access. I just need a ramp. I want to go to that building to do my own services, but just create a ramp so that I can go up on the ramp. Or I'm just looking for a public service vehicle that can lift my wheelchair. So that it's not being pushed from Thika to Nairobi. We are coming in 5 days to attend to something. So it's a theme that really runs in the life even now as we talk about young girls. Let's focus more on the hand up and not so much the handout.
I like that.
I really do.
Maybe just to add something on that, as Gears for Change, I told you, in Kiambu County, we have a consortium of 20 organizations. And there's a project that we were running, Young Women in Politics. Funny enough, Gears for Change is a feminist organization.
Look at that.
So when I talk about partnership and collaboration, it is something that I take it from the inside. And one of the things that we are doing with the disability group, in the 20 organizations that we have, CSOs in Kiambu County, there are several that are disability-led and are youthful. And what she's talking about, because in the spaces you can find something that they can do. We keep saying disability is not inability. So for us, as we do mental health and social accountability and inclusion, it's a program we are running with the Institute for Social Accountability, TISA. So for them, they bring a report on accountability in terms of the ramps put in the county government offices, in the hospitals, at their brails. When we talk about digital rights, something that you're doing with the University of Pretoria, I'll be doing an online web training with them. Do we have anything on braille for the blind people who can go online and study about digital rights? So those are things that you're helping them understand and championing for. When you're talking about phishing, when you're talking about being bullied and blackmailed, when we saw it during the Gen Z protests, there are people who are taking photos of the people who are able differently and making fun of them. So what are we doing as CSOs? What are we doing as, whether we are men-led or women-led? What are we championing for? What are we advocating for? Are we giving them the platform? Because TISA did a program where we are the, I can say the organizing or the collaborating CSO among us, the 20. So our role is to make sure that there's inclusivity, not only for those who are championing for climate, who are championing for mental health, but is there a disability organization in there that can bring a different scope of what is happening in the community.
I see. Power of collaboration, right? There's a lot.
And to also say that many people with disability, our managing director is visually impaired. So we sit in 4-hour board meetings and he has everything in his mind. He sits there and answers every question, data, what Sylvia is able to do here. And one of the things he told me that stuck with me, he said, God does not take away everything. Yes. For what I don't have, another area of my life is far much made up than most of you.
Absolutely.
And so again, including them so that they bring those sensitivities, you know, which able people are maybe not having as much as they are.
There's always something.
There's always something,
right?
Even in the to that gender role, and when you're talking about politics, because this program was being funded, of course, by UN Women Again and young parliamentarians, which is led by Honorable Gasheri from Kirinyaga. So what happens even now is that you're going to the campaign period. We have young women who want to vie for political office. But simply because they are in wheelchairs or they are not able to see, what are we doing as men? So like our founder was vying, and unfortunately, we know the story. Wanjiko Dega, who was abducted twice, not once. And we were there at the Kiambu police station, just trying to ask where is she, and we came with all the men and backing her up and ensuring that she's secure first of all, and we want to see her. And I remember in Ruiru we had to demand for the OB from the OCS. We told them, yes, you know, she was abducted, she's here, and you're not living here until you see the OB number. She's a woman. We want to see we want to know where she is. Unfortunately, we found that she was put in a cell where they were sitting down on the floor, men and women together, and that is a prison. So we have to be there as men. We have to be there. We have to speak out. We have to back them. We have to ensure that if she's vying and she's in a wheelchair and she is not able to come to the studio here, can we bring the studio down?
Yes.
Can we carry the camera? Can I offer and carry the camera for you and take it down so that she can be seen?
Absolutely.
So there has to be inclusion.
There has to be inclusion. I'm curious to hear what you're doing. Speaking still on the power of collaboration, I know we need to talk about moving forward, but the power of collaboration, what you're doing in your capacity, you know, to collaborate both boys and girls to ensure that, you know, we support the girl, so that we don't end up saying, the boys, they don't do anything, or they don't, you know, listen and whatnot, from where you sit.
Sorry, what was the question again?
What you're doing in your capacity when it comes to collaborating with the boys in the school to ensure that you support the young girls in the school.
So as head girl, I have a lot of responsibilities.
Yes.
Yeah, and as you said, I think when you're in a leadership position, you have to include a lot of people. So I think me and the head boy and the head of school, we've made it a point of ours to make sure we hear everyone's opinion. You know, whether it's a boy or girl, you know, different backgrounds, different cultures, just make sure everyone has a voice and everyone is heard. And I think, you know, especially with girls and talking about the girl child, you know, as we said here today, it's not girls versus boys. It's just making sure
that everybody,
we have gender equality.
Okay, I like that. I like that. All right.
Okay. There's something that Sifi said earlier, that it runs in the blood, right?
Born this way.
With your grandma here, and this is a question to you because it ties into everything everyone would say, just ask. Ebu liza onrabo. Kuna vitu alifanya, because I think in every sphere of your life, you carried this passion of bringing change and making sure that women are included and roping in the men as well. And as a policymaker, you did a lot of that as well in Parliament. Maybe you can give us a bit of that before we come to the end of the show.
Yes, I want to touch something on the equality of in the family, boys and girls. I want to touch that because there are people who are living in the tradition. In the tradition, people used to believe that the girl doesn't need to be given a lot because she will go to her own home and her family will be separate from these boys. But times have changed now. People are now even in the inheritance and the wills, you see them also inheriting something from the father. But the boys are always feeling like, why would they come and push us when they have their own home where their children will inherit? That one now, unless you are living in the older generation, things are changing.
It's the Stone Age.
The other one is on the empowerment of the girls. Beijing plus 30. The girls have been empowered. Let me say the girls have been empowered. And we were looking at the other day. I was invited by one of the priests to talk to the boys, and the boys said, "Mom, you are empowering the girls so much that even if I ask a girl for marriage, she will first ask me, what do you have? What do you bring to the table? How educated are you?" And I was taken to school. And you people, the girls have so much free things for them to be able to go to school. So I was thinking that in my own way, that it is a high time now we start empowering the boys also. So that they catch up. They catch up with the girls. The girls have gone very far. Like now, the Chief Justice is the product of Beijing. We are with her in Beijing. And the deputy. And also the first professor, Wangari, not Wangari Maathai. She was called Morago. She was called Wangari Morago. She was the first professor in Kenya. You can see we were looking up at her and saying, I want to be educated up, so like that things can be better for me, like her. Again, the parents, our parents, like especially my parents, because I cherish them so much, they were saying the things will change in my life, and it can change even for other children if I'm educated and I'm married by a good man. Which they did, preparing you for another home where you will be empowered because you are educated. And if you are not educated, they will say, oh, you keep on digging the farm throughout your life. So that one also, women need also to educate their girls for that purpose, because if a man marries a girl who is not educated, then it is a problem also to her, because they cannot reason together. You cannot hold a conversation together. And that's what my mom, when she was a counselor, was advocating, that the girl child has to be educated. But now I'm also advocating that the boy has to be educated. Let him not be left behind. Because if he is left behind, they will lack people to marry them, because you can't marry an idiot there. You have to be equal. You have to be on the same level of thinking. The other issue on the Beijing Plus, and today being the girl child, I'm so happy that the girls can talk and say we are empowered, because we got it from very far. We were very far down. Because I was working as a human resource in Metrobox, and my salary, I was an assistant. My salary and the clerk we were working with, I was more professional than him, and he was earning more money than me just because I was a girl. So that one, and don't forget the company was owned by British. And they had that discrimination. The girl has to earn less than the boy. And one day I went to them boldly and said, why would I be earning less money than my colleague? And he said, because he's a man. So, who is working more? And I said, I'm going to resign. And then they said, no, we are going to change the policies, because I was good at my work. We are going to change the policies, so don't worry, we are going to change it. And they did. When the increment time came at the end of the year, they balanced everybody. They said, whoever is in this category, you earn this. Whoever is in this category, you earn this. And the girls were very happy that I was bold to say, even if they sack me, I'm going to talk to them about this.
You were quitting anyway.
And you know, the interesting thing about that, if I can jump in, is that even today, first of all, it was interesting that you were able to speak up. That's already a sign of empowerment. And it's like, take your job or leave it, but anyway, I'm going to say my piece. But even today, we have data that actually shows that we still have that disparity. We call it a gender pay gap. Yeah, so for in East and Southern Africa, I don't have the numbers for Kenya specifically, but in the region, for every dollar a man earns, same education, same qualification, same level of work, a woman in the same position is earning 89 cents. Yeah, so that disparity is still there. So I agree with Honorable Mushigi. We've really made a lot of big strides, but we're not there. We're very far from there, because even if we look at unpaid care, so you're talking a lot about the domestic work and unpaid care, which if women are not properly empowered, you'll find you're in a relationship or in a marriage or in a home where you may both have jobs, but you're the one who comes home to cook, clean, wash, homework, babysit, or blah, 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 and yet you've just done a whole job as well, just like the man. So you find that limits women's productivity and even their growth career-wise, and even their contribution again to the economy. So we call that unpaid care and domestic work, because no one is going to pay me for taking care of my kids. So it's not a job. But if I have a housekeeper, of course, she's earning. For her, it's not parenting. And we find in Kenya, the numbers we have, we did a time use survey, UN Women Kenya office, 2 years ago, 3 years ago was when it was launched, and we find men are doing almost as little as a fifth, or conversely, women are doing up to 5 times more unpaid care and domestic work than men. 5 times. So you can imagine the pressure, even the mental toll on women. And then when we talk about also educating our boys, I have no choice. God gave me boys. God played me a 10 in there. He said, I know you, so I'm giving you boys. So I believe in empowering male children, boys, and also men in general. But one of the things we're really seeing is this surge in toxic masculinity. I know you want to talk about it as well. And we are seeing all this talk of the manosphere, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with the red pill philosophy, and basically that thing of if men are suffering, it's because of women. If men are earning less, it's women's fault. You know, and that's actually what's also informing a lot of this femicide. So we're still doing studies on that. There's a study that's been done in Lesotho, and there's another one going on right now on femicide specifically, because it's a whole data system and things. I'm not a statistician, so I communicate gender data. So those are the other people in our office who are the statistics gurus, who can tell you this is how we measure femicide, and this is how we say it's not femicide, and it's just a death on the street of a woman versus one that's femicide in the house because she was a woman, is why she was killed. But we find, like even just this year, let me give you a data point from Kenya from this year. 129 women were killed between January and March in Kenya only. And even just from GBV, and from last year, if you look between August and November, more than 100 women were killed. Femicide again. So we find that this toxic masculinity is something we need to really work with men about and grow the positive masculinity. And again, culture comes in as a big thing there, because a lot of men also are saying, like in previous interviews I've done, you find some of the comments in the chat say that you've come and changed our ideologies, this Western thinking is what is interfering with our local norms, and so men are reacting. That's actually what comments are saying. And it's surprising to me that it's the younger generations where this femicide is very high. Where you'd expect after all this exposure to gender equality, they'd be the ones saying, girls should be just as, strong as boys. But also there's a mental health aspect, which is one of the gaps. So as much as we've moved so far since Beijing, that's one of the areas that's coming up more and more as a gap, that if we can provide more mental health support, and I know Tandy is a passion of mental health, is a champion of mental health, so maybe she has something to say about that. But only 11 countries in the region, again, East and Southern Africa, out of, again, 23-ish, have got systems in place to actually address mental health issues systematically. That's a very low number. It is. So if we can prioritize mental health better, my thinking is that we can probably see some of these issues reduce, and then we can have everybody safe.
I like that. Listen, we have like 40 seconds before we're being chased out of the studio. I did want to hear from you. Like, if there was a policymaker, say, here in the room, what is it that you will tell them? Just one thing as far as making the world a better place for the girl. What would it be? And then I think Honorable can close for us. You know, the Beijing Plus, the 30 years now. Okay, so 30 years later, what does it look like? But can you share the 30 seconds?
So I would probably say, if there's one policy, to maybe put money aside to fund programs that help women be independent, especially financially. You know, make sure women are financially stable and can maintain that. I think, especially with my friends, and we always talk about our careers and what we want to end up doing. So we just want to make sure we can help ourselves and, you know,
be financially independent.
Exactly.
I like that. I like that. All right, Honorable Mishingi.
Thank you. I would urge our government in particular not to throw what has been achieved before, like Beyond Zero, which was particularly caring for a woman, a pregnant woman, expectant woman, that she had somewhere to give birth, somewhere to bring up a life. I would say that that should be adopted once again. Whether we have the SHA or whatever we have, it should be got from where Margaret, Her Excellency Margaret left.
Yes.
And then it is picked from there, and then the old zero comes back. I have seen so many vehicles lying in counties which were donated because they are not doing what they were supposed to do. I would like that to be done. And also education to be given a priority. Because if you educate somebody, you can leave them to fly. You can leave them to swim. And not care about them anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
the
right.
other one is on the to encourage the girl child.
Yes.
The girl child should be encouraged because she can pull the family up.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they have their own love.
To give. All right. Thank you so much. Oh my days. Yeah. The time is up. Okay, but we have to say goodbye. But thank you so much for coming by today. Sylvia, Agnes, Felix, Tanji, Honorable Mishingi. Thank you so much. My name is Winnie Lumembe. Have yourselves a lovely day. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Your World.
Yeah, that was wrapped through. Thank you. I've been your host, Mikali Maria Santosana. See you tomorrow, same time, same place.
Goodbye.